Disclaimer, this is not an I hate Ron DeSantis live stream. I don't hate Ron DeSantis. I don't really have a personal issue with Ron DeSantis. I've never met Ron DeSantis. This is just my opinion on the current situation. All right, let's get started. Thank you all for tuning in. Please retweet this, share this. You can invite followers at the three little dots at the bottom of the screen. So tonight I want to talk to you because there has been this idea that there's a really small bench within the Republican Party for presidential candidates in 2024. And that is the truth. But a small bench does not mean that we should be prematurely crowning Ron DeSantis as Trump's successor. And what I mean by that is it's almost as if he's the undisputed future of the party. He's the one that's going to win a primary if Trump doesn't run. He's the one that will be Trump's VP. He's pretty much being seen as the future of the GOP. My problem with that is Ron DeSantis is not an easy candidate to get to the Oval Office. He's not somebody who has worked a million everyman jobs. He's not someone who's built a company. He is not somebody who went to community college and built himself up. He went to Harvard and Yale. He was a member of Congress. A lot of people could make the argument that he's a career politician. So he's not somebody that screams new. He's not somebody that screams cutting edge. And there is an argument that with the Trump failure of 2020, at least in messaging at minimum, you cannot just recycle what was said in 2016, 2020 about how old Biden is and how the globalists are coming for you and how China is evil. All those things can be true on some level, but you need to have a cutting edge message. And Ron DeSantis being a career politician, yes, he was in the military, but truly he's a career politician, does not seem to me as if he is somebody who can present a cutting edge policy platform. Just so you understand, he only beat Gillum by 32,463 votes. That's it. It wasn't a full percentage. This was not a wipeout. That's how he beat him. So the idea that Ron DeSantis is somehow going to lead this national reawakening of populist right-wing messaging when he could barely beat Andrew Gillum at the height of Trump's popularity in Trump's favorite state, the state Trump lives in the Mar-a-Lago state, when Trump was on social media and when Ron DeSantis ran his whole campaign on Trump endorsed me, the same as he did with his primary campaign, doesn't make sense to me. So there seems to be a lot of this, let's just create this bubble around Ron DeSantis and protect him and exclude the idea of a future true outsider candidate. That's what they tried to do in 2016 with Jeb Bush. And obviously there was an outsider candidate. That's what they tried to do in 2012 with Mitt Romney. Obviously they were more successful, but Mitt Romney had more establishment backing. That's what they've tried to do in the past, and it doesn't work. So right now we have a very small bench, and it seems to me as if for some reason the party that prioritizes outside understanding and experience is not looking outside politics for a possible nominee. We're not looking in business. We're not looking in tech. We're not looking in sports. We're not looking in TV. We're not looking at any of those fields. For example, Chip Gaines is somebody who a lot of people know about. He's somebody who has severe support with suburban women, a key demographic that the Republican Party has been gutted in. But you never hear his name floated. He has massive name brand recognition. He's very big in Texas, which is becoming more and more of a swing state that's very vital to Republicans. But you don't hear his name floated. And the reason for that is everyone is obsessed with Ron DeSantis. And while Ron DeSantis might be a very nice man, I want you to think about every moment you were frustrated with one of Trump's personnel choices. Every moment you thought, why is he listening to that advisor? All those advisors are the people Ron DeSantis has around him. Ron DeSantis is in and out of Mar-a-Lago weekly. Do you honestly believe that someone like Kushner is not going to be in Ron DeSantis' ear? Do you honestly believe that Laura Trump, with her failed messaging strategy, is not going to be in his ear? Trump will see Ron DeSantis as a continuum of his own policy platform. He will invest everything in him. And we've seen in 2020 that Trump's idea of how to win a presidential election is not always successful. So before you dismiss everything about true outsider candidates, understand that this is not a wipeout. Ron DeSantis is a difficult candidate to market to people throughout the country. And I just want to sort of close with this, because a lot of people don't realize this. In Florida, where Ron DeSantis is arguably a very popular governor, the youth vote in 2020 went 64% for Democrats and 34% for Republicans. How is that square with the idea that Ron DeSantis is a great youth motivator when Trump himself got gutted there? How do you equate that to Ron DeSantis can mobilize people nationally? He may be more eloquent than Trump. He may be getting into his own charisma. But if he has the same group of people, if he has the same messaging, if he comes from the same area politically, and because we don't know where he stands on foreign policy, he can flip-flop back and forth a lot. How is he going to be prematurely crown Trump's successor, and we're not looking for a true outsider candidate. The bench is weak, but we have time to make the bench strong, just like Democrats did, even if that means rebuilding it around a true outsider candidate in the model of someone like Chip Gaines. The idea that we dismiss everything we learned from the 2004 race, from the Karl Rove days, from the days where Republicans were actually winning, doesn't make sense to me, and it never will. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in. This is not an I hate Ron DeSantis thing. I'd like to interview Ron DeSantis. I'd like to have him on my show to talk about this, but this is an idea of how to actually win, and you don't win with recycled 2016 stuff. We already saw that with 2020. Good night, everyone. Please retweet this, share this, and let me know what you think in the comments below.